Hey, what's up, guys? I'm feeling adventurous, and I've had quite a few people curious as to how this piece of hardware works and what it can sound like. A little bit of backstory. I bought it for myself for a birthday present, and got it in basically mint condition. There's only like 2 dings on it, where the rack mount screws go in. Other than that, it was pristine. Came with a manual and a box. It was pretty fun. So the reason why I bought it is because it's a piece of history, and that is the sound of all trance ever, and that's from the Super Saw, and that is the first kind of oscillator. I was just playing around with this, and it was this sound here. So all sounds are just coming out of the unit itself. And yeah, it sounds pretty neat. And this was the first kind of virtual analog. I like to joke around and say it was basically the first VST. And that's a joke. So what we'll do is how you program it. You program it through this bottom section here. If you can't see, that's fine. You click Edit, Utility, which is Init Utility, and then Write, and it temporarily writes an initial patch in your volume. It's really weird. There's a volume here, and then a volume here. And they both kind of do the same thing. So there's 2 of them. They both do the same thing, which is odd to me. So this is a basic kind of saw. You have your kind of shaped triangle. And that's basically it. But we'll start with our super saw, which is 8 saws all stacked up together. You hear it now? Now they're all stacked up, and they're finally kind of in tune with each other. So that's what 7 saws sounds like. That's what it sounded like in the late 90s. And this knob right here, when you turn up the detune, you have that super saw sound, which is everywhere now. Wish I could play, but I cannot. And this is basically all the sound of my favorite tracks. I'll switch hands. You can also click the preview button here, and then this turns into a little mini keyboard. Right, pretty cool. So the sound of that era was a mixture of the delay, which you couldn't sync to the actual hardware. A little bit of feedback. Effect. So it was a mixture of all that. But this also came with 2 more knobs, which is called tone control, because they didn't have EQs back then. They had tone controls. Lol. And that is bass and treble. So it's like your car stereo. So the sound of that era was they turned the treble all the way up. Right? That's it without it. Bass didn't really do anything, but they had that treble all the way up. Right? They had that. Also, yeah, we'll just quickly go into one of the, I guess you would call it, how do you get into that? You would edit, patch, oh no, what the hell, edit, part, no, edit, patch, How on that? Oh, maybe. Wait. Edit. Oh my god, I am the worst. And that's how you move. Ah, yes, there we go. You click that again. So we got super chorus slow, super chorus mid, which you just kind of heard. That's what the chorus sounds like mid. This is chorus fast. Right? It's the super chorus CLR clear, I guess. Flanger slow. See all these? You can only select one effect at a time. So one effect per patch can only be used, but it's controlled by one knob. So that's that deep, kind of spacey flanger they had. That's another one, flanger fast. Deep phasing slow. And of course, I would assume they used Cubase and such to add reverb and such and whatever. Jet phasing. Kind of adds a warmness to it. Twisting. See, and you can't adjust the parameters. It's just one thing. As far as I know. Oh, look, let's try that out. Yeah, the LFOs don't adjust that, so yeah. This is freeze phase. There you go, so it's phase that just freezes. It doesn't, kind of, the poles don't move. It's a different one. Freeze 2, distortion. That was a filter. So turn. Wait, jet phasing. So rejoice, we have our super sauce. So I'm just going to click over to the next section, which is our filter section. This is the Juno filter, which is another reason why I bought it. It's negative 12 decibels or negative 24 decibels, and it's just by a button here. And it's high pass, band pass, and low pass. So we'll do low pass now. We get a click because the amplitude envelope is there. And the resonance, we can bump that up, and that just goes crazy. Kind of self-oscillates. Right? And also you have right below it, you have your filter envelope, which does some neat stuff. And that's basically what it does. For all notes, not just one. And the pitch envelope is right beside it as well. And you get some pretty cool stuff. And the amplitude envelope is there for 16 voices. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna go init again. Wait. Init, right, temporarily. What do we have here? Perfect. triangle mod's very interesting. And it can oscillate. So it goes from a triangle to some sort of a pulse wave. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, another thing I want to point out is the white noise. Right, it's key tracked. So what that means is the white noise has a filter. So it's this knob here is a filter, and this is the resonance. So it's a filter stage before the filter stage, right? So you can hear it now. So as you go up the keyboard, the filter becomes more and more open. Right, and that can add a really nice layer to say, oh, I don't know, to like because it comes with 2 oscillator sections, so you have one white noise and then one. Right, so you have one triangle or sine wave. And then one noise. So you have that 80s Nintendo sound, and that is your noise. And you can have 2 noise sources. So the noise chip has a filter built into it, basically, which is a really handy dandy tool. And by itself, this white noise sounds like real white noise sounds completely different than say Ableton white noise. Next up is our feedback, which is a square wave, I believe, where the upper harmonics are fed back somehow, like that. You get some really crazy sounds, especially when you mix in the delay. I bet you guys $100 you've heard that sound before. Right, and that is just with one knob. So you have your feedback, which kind of selects how much you feedback, and then your harmonics knob, which selects which part of the harmonics you're feedbacking. It's really interesting, and I'm not sure how it works. It's by itself. You can really make it scream. So you have your 2 oscillators. Oscillator 1, you get super saw, triangle mod, noise, feedback. Oops. Whoa, buds. Holy moly, almost lost the camera. It's set up all funny. So for oscillator 1, you get super saw, triangle mod, noise, the feedback oscillator, which you're hearing, and then conventional square pulse wave, saw, and triangle sine. Holy crap. Okay, let's zoom in a bit here. Alright. Okay. Perfect. So now we can see a little bit better, so the camera doesn't fall over. So yeah, for oscillator 1, you have that. Oscillator 2, you have square pulse, triangle, sine, and then noise. So you're a little bit limited in oscillator 2. you can have 2 supersaws going at once, but that'd be pretty cool. There was actually a JP-8080 that I saw on Craigslist that I was going to pick up, and I was going to have 2 of them and be unstoppable. This is your oscillator mix section, as well as the modulation source, what it's kind of fed into. So hopefully you can see. If you can't, well, let me just... Yeah, I really need a new webcam. I also need a memory card. That'd be cool as shit to have. So with that, couple things I want to show you now. To get your pulse width, you have that simple square, and then you move the pulse width up. It doesn't go up so far that it becomes a silent oscillator, which may or may not be useful. But so we'll go into our options, go patch, and then go all the way to the end to distortion, because this is what we do. Right, the distortion on this thing sounds at least a decade ahead of its time. Oh, I am altering things. Right, that just sounds beautiful. And with our pulse width, get something really interesting. Which I'm a fan of. With the filter, it sounds quite nice. And then we'll adjust the so we have a 303 sound. Somewhat. So, yeah, with that being said, we will go into our simple kind of LFO sections. So you have an LFO and then a modulation. So the LFO can be linked to amplitude, filter, and an oscillator, I believe. Or in the the modulation gets linked to the oscillator. I don't know. So what we'll do is we will select the rate, a liberal amount, and turn the the filter links to the LFO one. Right, and you get some really kind of neat textures going on there. And also, if you want to go kind of R2D2 style, there's a sample and hold. Which I really like. So very versatile, not so much trancey stuff, but with that distortion you can do a lot of crazy shit. So we have our LFO1 going to our filter, and now we're going to have our modulation 2, which is down here, which is 2 knobs, simply you don't need to see it. We will have that to our pitch. We're going to have a attenuatory filter too, so we can have two things affecting the filter. But the same thing, really. Or our amplitude, which is our volume. And then what I want to do, we can have a white noise. That's on analog, I don't know what is. So, the first kind of virtual analog, well, one of its kind, in this thing, whatever, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's show a couple more things. So I'll write to memory. Oops. That's one of the patches. Press the wrong button. So, yeah, there's a button down here. If you can see it, it's unison, and that's basically what they call super awesome mode. It doubles it up. And you can do that with the super saw, but you can only play one voice. So it's 8 saws, but they're separated by stereo, and they're doubled. Is that was a little too loud, sorry. And that is our pitch modulation with unison, and we'll add a bit of filter. It's a very nice kind of open filter. I like the faders in place of potentiometers for this sort of thing. Just makes it really fun and easy. Typically, transcaster would have white noise on the top end. And then we'll balance those without balancing out here. Or, you don't need to follow any rules. We will have our square wave up on top. And we'll have our LFO only affecting oscillator 2, and we'll leave oscillator 1 alone, because right now it's not being wibbly wobbled. We will narrow the pulse width of the wave to create a nice kind of upper harmonic. We'll kind of lay off the LFO, and then we'll mix them back in. So this is just super saw, and this is just our upper harmonic square wave. You can even bring this up 12 decibels, 12 semitones, 1 octave, sorry. Or bring it down 2 octaves. To give it some beef. little bass knob here. We'll turn unison off. And that is, as far as I know, all I can do on this thing so far. Your arpeggiator I can't use yet because I need another MIDI input source, so i.e. another MIDI interface keyboard. And I would really like to get to know upper and lower with the arpeggiator, which would be fabulous. Yeah, that's basically it. Here, I'll try one more thing. So we'll have, will it knit? Right. So we have two saw waves. Balanced. With the fine tune knob, we didn't really check that out. So, 4 of them. And some delay, a bit of feedback. Very meaty. And yeah, that is the JP-8080. Hope you got some out of it. I know I didn't, but we're all good to go. Anyway, enjoy. Take care.